What's up, boxing fans? This is TBE Boxing, back at you again. Today's topic, weight bully, Crawford by KO over Canelo by 11th round, unless Reynoso throws in the towel before that. Let's chop it up and see what it's all about.
So when I stop him, y'all gonna say he was too weak.
On my life.
And he stayed at 147.
You would not stop
too
me.
long.
You would not stop me.
Okay.
You crazy. You careful what you smoking on. Asmir, hey.
Got the money for minutes, pretty bitch, gotta show me titties. This is the life that I chose, huh? On the block with the pole, huh? This is the life that I chose, huh? On the block with the pole, huh? That's life before Richard, huh? And I got the glitz, you run up on me, I'ma make you get it. I'ma make you get it.
Okay, boxing fans, let's talk some boxing. Let's chop it up. So the big fight is right around the corner this Saturday, September 13th. And, everybody's waiting to see this fight. The biggest fight of the century or the decade, whatever you think it is. Okay, but this is a huge fight. And everybody and their mother are making predictions about what's going to happen in this fight. So I'm going to throw my 2 cents in, as usual, all right? And we're going to more or less say how this fight might go depending on the circumstances, right? Now, the biggest thing that people are talking about is the weight difference, or the size difference, okay, between Canelo and Crawford, right? So, most people think that, Canelo is too big, too powerful for Crawford, and, they're wondering, if Crawford can take his punch. Now, I mean, I don't see why Crawford is going to have to take his punch. I mean, he should do his best to avoid most of Canelo's punches, so he shouldn't go in there thinking, that he wants to take Canelo's punch or see how hard Canelo can punch. I mean, we already know Canelo can punch hard, so I don't think Crawford is going to go in there, trying to test his chin with Canelo's punch. I think he's going to do his best to avoid all the punches as much as he can, And as far as Canelo punching, I mean, yeah, Canelo got a pretty good, he got a pretty good punch. But he has to hit you solid, and usually, Canelo's not necessarily a one punch knockout. I think the only person he actually did that with was what's his name? Can't remember his name right now, but you all know what I'm talking about. He moved up to fight Canelo at a catchweight, and yeah, Amir Khan, and Canelo knocked him out with one punch. I think that was the only guy Canelo ever knocked out with one punch. And lately, Canelo hasn't really been knocking anybody out, so I don't think that that's going to really be an issue, unless Crawford stays in the pocket and trade with Canelo. Now, then again, who knows what could happen in that situation? Maybe Canelo might be the one getting the worst of it. I mean, uh, look at Crawford. I mean, he looks pretty big. Although people are saying that, he's just a blown up welterweight. So, but we're gonna see how it plays out in the fight. Now, I'm thinking this is how the fight is gonna go, basically. Okay, I'm gonna give a breakdown. The fight can go either two ways. Uh, I mean, we're gonna see how strong Crawford is in there against Canelo, and see who is the stronger guy. At this point, most people are assuming that Canelo is the stronger guy, but we don't really know until they get into the ring who's gonna be who's gonna be the bully in there, right? So I'm pretty sure both of these guys are gonna try to bully each other. I'm sure Canelo is gonna try that, which is what he probably should do. Now, I don't really think it's just a matter of power when it comes to Canelo. Canelo has skills as well, and so he's gonna go in there and try to, show that he has skills also. Uh, Personally, I think that would be a mistake for him to do that. He should go in there and try to, basically play to his, alleged advantages, which is size and power, and try to overpower Crawford, basically. show him that this is his weight, and that Crawford can't just come up there and think he can go, just run over him. So he's going to have to do that. But again, we don't know what Crawford is going to look like. See, that's the intangible right there. Nobody really knows what Crawford is going to be doing in there in terms of, managing that weight, his speed, his power. Does his power carry up to 168 pounds? There's a lot of intangibles in terms of Crawford, so it's hard to really assess what's going to happen in there, once he gets in there with Canelo. But I mean, basically, from what I'm looking at, from what I've seen so far, it looks like Crawford is bigger, stronger, and well, he's definitely bigger as we can see it, but it looks like he might be, and he might be stronger and faster at 168 pounds than he was at, at welterweight. So this could be an issue for Canelo if he's bigger and stronger. Is he going to be stronger than Canelo? We don't know. But again, I don't really think that, strength really matters that much in boxing. I mean, it matters to some degree, but, like in the clinch, to more or less. But, other than that, it's not that much about determining factor. It's boxing skills at the end of the day. And so we're going to see, who has the better skills. Canelo fans are saying that Canelo got skills too, and he's not just going to, he can slip punches, and Canelo does have some skills. I mean, he does display them when he have to. I mean, we haven't really seen that much skill in the last couple of fights, but then again, he hasn't really had to display much skills against the guys he's been fighting lately. Now, Munguia did give Canelo a spirited fight, for as long as it lasted, and it went the distance. Canelo probably could have finished him off, but I guess they're stablemates. I don't know. So we did see Canelo, knock him down, okay? And the same thing with Berlanga. So Canelo, even though people are saying Canelo is fading, I don't really see that. I think that I don't really see that. I just see more of that he's just fighting to the level of the competition. Most of these guys they're going against Canelo, they're not really going in there to win. They're just going in there to, survive, basically. People say Charlo did that, but most of the people that fight Canelo does that. They don't go there to win. They just go in there to, say that they was in the ring with Canelo, get their paycheck, and go about their business. Okay? So that's basically, they didn't really go in there to beat Canelo. Okay? And so I think Crawford is going in there to beat Canelo. Okay? Not just beat him, but beat him up. So that's the mental difference I think that's going to be in this fight. And I think if Crawford goes in there and set a high pace, make Canelo work hard for the first 6 rounds, and then step up the pace again after 6 rounds, I think by the 8th, 9th round, Canelo will be done, basically. I mean, I think he'll be ready to go. And I think by 10th, 11th, Crawford could set him up for the knockout. So basically, that's how I see the fight going, okay? I see Crawford setting a high pace. I see Canelo trying to keep up. I see by the 6th, 7th round, Canelo, starting to fade a little bit. By the 8th, 9th, if Crawford step up the pace again, I think Canelo would be, definitely fading by then. I think by the 10th, 11th, he could probably get Canelo out of there. Okay, so that's basically how I see it. Now, it is a fact that more than likely, it's possible that Canelo could, do the same. Canelo can catch Crawford with a shot early, and hurt him. That's a possibility, especially in the first 6 rounds when he's typically at his strongest, right? So we could probably see something like that. But I don't really think it's likely. Okay, I don't think it's like. It's possible, but I don't think it's likely. And it's also possible that Crawford can catch Canelo early with a good shot and end the fight early as well. Even though people are talking about Canelo got a what they call an iron chin and a granite chin, and nobody ever heard him or even made him look like he was uncomfortable. But if you look at this picture right here, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see Bivol hitting Canelo, and right there, it looked to me like Canelo is feeling those punches. I don't think Look at the way he's covering up and look at his face. I mean, I think if Bivol had stepped it up a little bit, he could have stopped Canelo in that fight. You know, but Bivol wasted a lot of punches, and a lot of his punches not that accurate. He's a hard. I mean, he's not exactly a knockout puncher either. So that's another problem. Okay, but he was tagging Canelo, and Canelo was, I think he hurt Canelo once or twice in there. And look at Mayweather. I mean, Mayweather is not a big puncher, but look at Canelo. So for the people who think that, Canelo is just going to walk through, he's just going to walk through Crawford's punches, they better think again. Okay, that's not going to happen. Okay, Canelo is going to be very careful in there because, at the end of the day, Crawford is a bigger puncher than Bivol and Mayweather. Okay, that's a fact. Okay, so he got a 75% KO ratio. I think Bivol is like 50%, and Mayweather, I don't know what his was. He didn't really knock people out. He just outboxed them most of the time. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting fight. Can Crawford pull it off? I think he can. Is it possible that Canelo can catch him with a shot early, within the first 6 rounds? It's a possibility. Although I don't think it's probable. I think Crawford is going to stay disciplined in there. And I think he's going to basically keep a high pace, counter punch, give Canelo angles, make Canelo pay when he misses. Because that's the problem with a lot of people that fight Canelo. Typically, they don't really make Canelo pay when he misses. Except who did that little bit of that? Skull. Skull did a little bit of that in his fight. Okay. When Canelo missed, a couple of times he made Canelo pay, and you saw that Canelo didn't like pain. Okay, so he kind of more or less just kind of backed off Skull when he got him into the rope. He didn't really go after him like that. So this is the secret to it. A lot of these guys, like I said, go in there and they're not really trying to hurt Canelo or trying to hit him. They're worrying about protecting themselves. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but it looks like a lot of these fighters, like, they can't do 2 things at the same time. They can make you miss, but they can't make you pay. Okay. And that's the secret to it. I mean, once you miss, you got to pay. And Crawford can make Canelo miss to make him pay. And a lot of times I see Canelo winding up that left hook from, all the way from Guadalajara to deliver it. He's very, it's a telegraph. And basically he's sending the punch by telegraph. And a lot of guys just, instead of like hitting Canelo before he throws the punch, or in the middle of him throwing the punch, they cover up and hide behind their high guard or whatever. And, that's the problem. You see, you got to, I think what we're going to see is that a lot of these times when they come together in the middle of the ring and Canelo tried to, all right, he got him against the ropes, near the rope, and Canelo tried to deliver that left hook from Guadalajara, he's going to get hit 2 or 3 times before he even get to deliver the punch. You got to stop him, before he actually tried to throw the punch, hit him between his punches. And I think we might see a lot of that. Now, one thing I will say about Canelo, his hand speed is underrated. Okay, a lot of people think Canelo's not a slow fighter. Okay, that's the thing. He has, his hand speed is very, that's how come Canelo can get away with some of these telegraph shots that he be throwing, and because he tried to put so much power in his punches. You can kind of see it before he deliver it, but he got pretty good hand speed. And not just pretty good, he got excellent hand speed to say, really at the end of the day. I mean, you got to say that. So I'm not really, Crawford is, is going to have to be faster than he was at welterweight to really outspeed Canelo in the hand department. Because like I said, Canelo got good hand speed. He always did. Okay, he was never slow with his hands. It's his foot that's slow, a little bit, not his hands. So Canelo is no slouch with the hand speed in the hand speed department, and so that might be a problem for Crawford if he try to stay in the pocket with Canelo for too long. Okay, so he's gonna have to give Canelo angles, keep Canelo off balance. When Canelo tried to set himself up, he gotta hit him right there and then and throw Canelo off and let him have to reset. Okay? And then by the time Canelo reset, he's giving him more angles. And when Canelo come again, he got to hit him again. Okay, keep him off balance that way. Counterpunching and footwork, angles. And I think if he could do that, for the most of the fight, he might be able to stop Canelo. That's how I'm seeing it anyway. Basically stopping Canelo around the 11th round or so. Canelo will be tired by them because I think Canelo is going to be aggressive in this fight. Okay, and the key to that is that Canelo is going to be very aggressive. He's going to go after Crawford. Crawford going to have to basically keep his defense up to par. Let Canelo expend a lot of energy throwing those punches because every time Canelo throw a punch, it's like a punch from Guadalajara. Okay, so he throw hard punches, and throwing hard punches tire you out after a while. Okay, and so you just got to keep Canelo throwing and missing basically. And that's one way that Canelo that Crawford could win this fight. Okay, now is it possible that that Crawford might go in there and try to back up Canelo and bully him in the fight, and that what we see is a fight where Crawford is the bully and Canelo is the guy on the back foot? I don't know. It might be. It could be possible. All right. We don't know what to see from Crawford. We don't know what to expect from Crawford at this new weight. So is it conceivable that he can go in there and bully Canelo? Wow, that would be amazing. So now Canelo is a I think it would be difficult to do that against a guy like Canelo. Canelo got that thick, stocky frame, and he's very strong in there. And like I said, it's well known that Canelo can take a shot, and he has taken a lot of shots from a lot of good fighters. Some of them could keep him at bay, but they really never hurt Canelo to much degree, except for I think Bivol hurt him a little bit. Okay, I think Bivol hurt him in that fight. At the end of the day, I think basically the idea that a good big man would beat a good little man, that played out in the Bivol fight. Okay, we saw that a good big man like Bivol that can actually box was able to beat a good little man like Canelo. Okay, and so Canelo was not able to outbox Bivol. Now maybe if Bivol was on his same size or his same division, he could have overpowered Bivol because he was pretty powerful in that fight, even though he was the smaller guy in there. But Bivol outboxed him. So I'm thinking that a lot of people think that Bivol beat Canelo because of his size, but I think he basically outboxed Canelo to a large degree. Okay, because again, Bivol is not a guy with a high punch or high knockout ratio. He's not a knockout fighter. He's not a knockout puncher. Okay, his fights go the distance more or less. So he basically beat Canelo with skill, but Canelo's fans always got some excuse. So they claim that Bivol was beaten because he was bigger. So, it is what it is. I think Bivol outboxed him, and I think if Bivol can outbox Canelo, then so can Crawford. Okay, and that's at the end of the day. At the end of the day, so it just at the end of the day it comes down to whether Crawford can withstand Canelo's output, okay, or his onslaught. Okay, again, he needs to do that with angles and footwork, okay, and hand speed. And so with that, he should be able to, beat Canelo. But again, who knows? Maybe Crawford might just go in there and decide that he's going to bully Canelo, push him back, work him on the inside instead of staying outside. Fight Canelo on the inside. Okay, body shots, uppercuts. Maybe he might be the stronger guy in there, and we could see a completely different fight than what we are expecting. Okay, it could be. We never know. Canelo can go in there and roll all over Crawford, which is highly unlikely. But maybe this fight might surprise us. Who knows? Crawford the bully. So yeah, people, it's gonna be a great fight. I can't wait to see it, man. You know, can't wait to see this fight. Great fight. Glad it's coming around. I mean, Crawford had to basically track down Canelo at the end of the day. You know, you had to chase him and, you know, call him out. And finally, I'm glad Canelo didn't wait 5 years to take the fight. Okay, so yeah, it should be an interesting fight. Can't wait to see it. May the best man win. All right. So yeah, but I want to talk a little bit now about the fight coming up with Keith Thurman and the Twin Towers. Fundora, you know, him and Fundora is gonna fight. That's a great. I mean, I tell you, Keith Thurman is a funny guy. He's stood up on a chair. I mean, that Fundora is tall, man. I didn't really. I mean, this guy is huge. I don't know how that fight's gonna be. I mean, but it's gonna be an interesting fight. I was kind of impressed with Thurman in his last fight. You know, when he came back, fought the Australian kid. Never expected him to do that good at all. I was shocked, really. I mean, Thurman still has skills. So, but that was against a guy that wasn't really that experienced at the end of the day. But still, you know, Thurman showed me a lot more than I expected. Okay, I was you know, literally impressed by his performance in that fight. He did what he was supposed to do, which I didn't expect him to do. So yeah, that was a great fight by Keith Thurman. Now to go from that fight to this fight with you know, Fundora, I don't know. This guy is tall. I mean, you know, I mean, Keith Thurman only had one fight coming back on his comeback, even though he looked healthy and strong in that fight. So maybe he can show us something against Fundora. It should be an interesting fight. I'm definitely looking forward to that one as well. Even though I probably would like to see him fight somebody else. You know, maybe like Spence. You know, or there's a couple of fighters that I would like to see Keith Thurman fight besides Fundora. You know, maybe Ortiz, maybe even Boots. You know, those would be some good fights. But you know, maybe those fights might come. You know, if I mean, if Thurman can get past Fundora, he'd be a champion, right? He'd be a champion again, which would be, you know, which would be a great accomplishment from Keith Thurman, because you know most people have written him off by now. So yeah, that would be interesting to see Thurman with another title again. Maybe he can, you know, he can move up. You know, I don't know how he can. Maybe Thurman can move to middleweight. I don't know. Maybe he can fight a middleweight. But there's a lot of good fights for Thurman if he gets past Fundora. Okay, I think you know. So I'm looking forward to that fight. Now, the fight between Jake Paul and and Devontae. I mean, you know, basically, I mean, I mean, I like celebrity boxing like anybody else, but I'm not sure what type of fight this is going to be. If it's going to be a sanctioned fight, I'm not even sure the fight is even sanctioned already. I don't think so. Or if it's going to get sanctioned, and maybe they're going to have to fight it as an exhibition. Nobody seems to know, you know, what the circumstance of this fight is. But you know, I mean, I don't know. That's that took me totally by surprise. That came from out, you know, I don't know where that fight came from. I don't know. Maybe you know, and at this point in time. So I guess I mean that can't. Can they sanction a fight like that? I don't know what weight is Devontae is gonna come in at the ring at, and can Devontae beat you know, can Devontae win against Jake Paul? Well, me personally, I wouldn't say he can't. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's a smaller guy, I mean, I don't really think that Jake Paul can box as good as Javante. There's no way. Okay, so the only chance that Jake Paul really have, and the real advantage he has, is his size. I don't know. I think if he hit Javante, it might be curtains for Javante. But in terms of boxing skills, I don't think he can outbox Javante. You might be able to overpower him, but outbox him, I don't think so. Uh, it's an interesting fight. More like a sideshow of a fight, but still interesting at the end of the day. Okay, it's a novelty fight. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing it. You know what I mean? And it definitely will be an interesting fight. So hopefully they could work it out and they actually make the fight instead of just I hope it's not just a publicity stunt. To take some shine off of Crawford's fight. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't mind seeing that fight, even though it's basically a novelty, celebrity sideshow type of fight. But still, it'll be interesting. Okay, so I'm moving right along. Mayweather, Tyson. Another interesting sideshow of a fight. Celebrity boxing, basically what it comes down to. I wouldn't mind seeing it. Okay, I think it'll be interesting to see, how these guys approach it. Even though I don't know, I think Tyson is pretty much done. Okay, he didn't look too good in his last fight as a celebrity, so I don't know how good he's gonna look in this fight. I think he's kind of up there, and maybe we should have did a exhibition against somebody else. There's pretty more people out there that he could do an exhibition fight against, I would think. Maybe even Jake Paul, right? But we'll see. But I guess these are money fights, really. Mayweather versus Tyson. I mean, everybody's gonna want to watch that. Jake Paul versus Javante. A lot of people are gonna want to see that as well. So the both fights are gonna be a big money fights at the end of the day. Even though they're basically novelty, celebrity sideshow fights, it's gonna bring a lot of eyes to boxing, and that's good. So I'm looking forward to those as well. Interesting. But the fight that I'm looking forward to the most is Crawford versus Canelo. We're gonna see, if the good little man can beat the good big man. Can Crawford go up and at that so many weight divisions and challenge the reigning champion, all-time fighter, superstar like Canelo, basically more or less at his prime. So yeah, great fight. Can't wait to see it. May the best man win. This is TBE Boxing saying, you already know what my prediction is, right? Just in case you guys didn't know, my prediction is Crawford by KO over Canelo by the 11th round, unless Reynoso throws in the towel before that. That's my title, and that's my prediction. So with that said, I'm going to leave it there. This is TBE Boxing saying, I'm out.
So when I stop him, y'all gonna say he was too weak.
On my life.
And he stayed at 147.
You would not stop
too long.
me. You would not stop me.
Okay.
You're crazy. The Terence was smoking on. Hey.
Got the money for minutes, petty bitch, gotta show me titties. This is the life that I chose, huh? On the block with the pole, huh? This is the life that I chose, huh? On the block with the pole, huh? That's life before Richard, huh? And I got the glitzy, wanna ball me, I'ma make you get it. I'ma make you get it.